Hello, this is week 5, and this week you're going to learn more about infant and toddler language and literacy. So, as you know, infants begin learning language from birth. They hear all of the sounds around them, they take them in, and this is called receptive communication because they're just receiving the information. The expressive communication really does not come in until just a little bit later. So in chapter 8, which on page 162, I'm just going to go through a few highlights in this chapter. On page 164, they talk about understanding words. It's really important to understand that children really understand language from about the second half of the first year. And they begin to communicate with the people around them, even though they can't talk at that time, but they communicate through gestures, crying, making noises, and the expression on their face. They're very good communicators. They will let you know exactly what they want most of the time. They may start babbling later on in their first year. And then you have the first words, which generally come in somewhere between 8 and 18 months of age. Some are, a little bit earlier and some are a little bit later. And I know parents often worry and talk to their teacher and say, why is my child not talking when they're almost 2 and still not talking? Some children just talk later than other children, even though if it's really to the point where there are no words at all, then I always recommend that they check with their pediatrician. Some things that you're going to notice is overgeneralization. They'll refer to everything as a car, from a truck to a minivan to a sports car. Everything is just a car. You'll also have a lot of children that begin making their 2-word phrases right around 2 years of age. Me go, I like, all wet, me eat. The thing that I really want to point out, though, in this chapter, here's the nugget in the chapter. It's the green box on page 171, and that's part of our assignment this week, is the media. And I wish they would have given this topic just a little bit more attention in the chapter, but it is what it is. All of us know that our children are exposed to a lot of media from a very, very young age. And there have been many studies. Some studies say that media is bad for kids. Some say that media is good for kids because they're learning words since they're hearing people talk. Well, the most definitive study was done back in 2003. Actually, I'm sorry, 2007. And this one had 7,000 infants. And the investigators discovered that for each hour of television viewing or DVD viewing per day, infants learned 6 fewer words, and some learned 8 fewer words, but 6 was the minimum. And these children were not learning language as fast as children who were not exposed to media, which really tells us that the level of communication in children who are sitting in front of a video or a movie for any length of time during the day is going to be diminished. So let me go to our Blackboard page and talk about what you're going to be doing this week. You're going to be creating a family handout. In fact, you're going to be creating 2 handouts. I want you to put yourself in the position of being a director of a child care center. You have both 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds in your center. And as you know, the development in 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds is vastly different. So there will need to be different handouts. So you will have one handout, and make it an attractive handout. If you want to make a brochure, that's fine. If you want to make a flyer, that's fine, but make it attractive because you're sending this home to the parents. For the parents of the 1-year-old children, fill it with wonderful suggestions for language-rich activities that they can engage in at home in place of electronic media. You'll have to do some research on that, but there are lots of fun things that families can do together to teach children more words and engage them. That doesn't mean plopping them in front of a TV. And then you're going to do the exact same thing for the 2-year-olds. And you might have some of the same activities, but I would hope you don't have all same activities because 2-year-olds have a much greater level of cognitive and language development than 1-year-olds do. So you're going to submit both of those handouts. And I really look forward to seeing your beautiful handouts that are going to catch the parents' attention and that they will be happy to use these wonderful suggestions. If you have any questions about how to do any of this, please check with me, questions about enrollment for next semester or whatever you have a question about. Send me an email. We'll set up a Zoom. Have a great week. Bye.